It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Knoll. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And trust me, it's going to be good. Okay, guys, so we are back to talk about the Erika Jayne, Erika Girardi, Erika Jayne. I know you guys get frustrated when I use all three names, but there's so many identities going on here. And Mr. Girardi drama. It seems like Mr. Girardi will be evicted, kicked out of his home, gone, good riddance, no longer able to stay there from his $16 million Pasadena mansion. There are some stipulations that sort of work in his favor, but at the end of the day, this man is technically losing almost everything, or at least that's what it seems like. During a court hearing this past Tuesday, the judge actually ruled in favor of Mr. Girardi in favor of a request from his brother Robert in order to let him stay in his home. Originally, Robert Girardi, who is now acting as Mr. Girardi's conservator, requested that Mr. Girardi be able to stay in his home, saying he has nowhere else to go. Right now, he's allegedly mentally incompetent. He's not really aware of what's going on. He's allegedly suffering from short-term memory loss. And like I said the first time, he has nowhere else to go. So the brother was really fighting hard for him to be able to stay in the house. Now, when I said kind of works in his favor, what did I mean by that, right? Okay, so the way that Mr. Girardi's brother, his conservator, Robert, requested this was saying, hey, listen, will you please let us stay inside the house? Don't evict us yet. Don't evict Mr. Girardi yet. Let us stay in the house until you sell it. How about that? Once you sell the house, give us 20 days to vacate the house. Give us a minute to kind of collect whatever we're allowed to collect. And that way, it's not just overnight you're putting us out on the streets, right? Okay, so the judge agreed. The judge said, fine. Once the home is sold and it goes into escrow, 20 days from that date, you need to get your belongings, whatever you're allowed to take, which probably isn't a lot considering they're liquidating most of their assets, and get out. Now, vacating the Pasadena mansion wasn't the only thing that the judge had to touch on Tuesday. He also had one big burning question. I think a question that we all kind of have. Where is Erika Girardi, and what are her thoughts on all of these bankruptcy proceedings, these court cases, on all of the media news, the attention? What's going on through her mind? Because as of right now, she's receiving a lot of backlash from fans, Bravo super fans all over the world who are watching her post her Savage by Fenty brand ambassador photos that are a little risque, posting her glam shots, posting her just looking amazing, acting like nothing is wrong in her life. Now, mind you, a lot of people were attacking her on social media saying, how could you? There's so much going on. Your husband's being sued. There are families who don't have any money. He stole all this money allegedly, and you're acting like nothing's wrong. On the other side, though, guys, you have to remember, and I'm not taking sides here. I'm not sticking up for anyone. Erika Girardi does have to follow through with her brand partnerships because those are contracts. She's getting paid a lot of money to do so. And for someone who is seemingly losing so much in her life, and I'm not saying it's not rightfully so or not rightfully so, right? But what I am saying is for someone who's losing almost everything, this is the little bit of money that she has coming in. And she could even maybe have that liquidated in the future too. We don't know yet until all of this finishes, until it all wraps, right? But in the meantime, she has to support herself because obviously he doesn't have the means to do it, or at least that's what they're portraying this like. That's what we're led to believe. And if he doesn't have the means to do it, then she still needs that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills check. She still needs those brand ambassador programs. She has to work, right? Now, is her posing in her lingerie, looking like she's all, I guess, doing fine? Is that what people want to see? While other families are struggling, maybe not. But that's the reality that we have to deal with, and she is on reality TV. So at the end of the day, again, she has a job to do. Now, jumping back to Mr. Girardi having to vacate the Pasadena mansion. When the trustee run actually put this by the judge said, this is fairly straightforward. He said, under a few conditions will I let Mr. Girardi stay in that home. One, you need to keep the house fairly neat and tidy, pretty much in sellable condition. You can't just go in the mansion and then trash it because you know you're leaving. Like, this isn't a scene out of Sisters with Tina Fey and Amy Pollard, you know what I mean? So, yes, you can't trash the house. Two, the utilities are due to be paid. So if there are utilities to be paid, somehow, whether you have to liquidate something, whether you have to reach in your pocket, your checking account, savings, doesn't matter. You want to stay in the house? The utilities need to be paid. Now, Leonard Pina is an attorney who's representing Robert in this whole case. And obviously, Robert is acting again as his brother's conservator. But he said there is no way that the debtor can service the mortgage on this property. He ended that statement with, again, he plans on moving, but we just didn't want it to happen overnight. Now, the judge wasn't just asking about Erika Girardi in the sense of, like, is she aware of the bankruptcy proceedings? Where is she? What's going on? But he also wanted to know, what about the contents in the house? What are you guys going to do with all of the contents in the house? If there's anything that's not liquidated, where's it going? Who's taking it? Is Mr. Girardi taking it? Is Mr. Girardi taking it? Is it something that's going to be set aside and dealt with once they divorce to be split evenly? Where is everything going? Well, that's left. Now, just to remind you guys, at the end of last year, 2020, it was around November, December. This is when Girardi and Keese, that's Girardi's law firm with his partner, or was put into an involuntary bankruptcy after being accused of embezzling over $2 million from victims of car crashes, plane crashes, boat crashes, earthquakes. I mean, go across the board, you name it, that tragedy is probably on there. Again, obviously not every single tragedy you can think of, but there's a whole list. And it seems like every time we turn around and we look in the headlines, there are new names, new court cases that are popping up from people who want to get their hand in the pot, get their money before the well is dry. Mind you guys, we had a conversation with Emily D. Baker, who's following this case pretty closely. I love Emily. I love that she breaks down all of the legal jargon for us, kind of helps us understand somebody who, for example, obviously I haven't been to law school. I don't know all of the terms. So I want somebody to break it down for me because I want to know what's going on. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is one of my favorite franchises on Bravo, and I do cover Housewives. So I want to know what's going on within the ensemble cast. I wanted to know the same when it was happening with Teresa Giudice. But Emily D. Baker did make a statement, getting back on point, that all of these people can keep coming forward if they were wrongfully done, and they can prove their case, even if they're owed $10 million, $15 million, $5 million. Once all of the assets are liquidated and all of the money is gone, there's nowhere else you can pull for the money. So anybody who's left over, any creditors, any cases that haven't been fully paid, tough luck. And that sounds terrible, but that's actually the case. Or cases, so to speak, no pun intended, but that's the case. So they are all just out of luck. If they haven't been properly paid and the well runs dry, there's no more money, they're not getting paid. Mr. Girardi has no more money to give, and we'll see. Right now, he hasn't been disbarred. He still technically has his law license and can act as a lawyer. That's at least what Ronald Richards is saying, or what he says in his tweets. Ronald Richards is another lawyer who's following this case or cases so closely. I mean, every time you go on his Twitter, it's almost like at least 2-3 times a week, we see new information from Ronald Richards regarding the Girardi cases. So we'll just have to wait and see how these play out. In the meantime, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is expected to air its 11th season sometime this spring, which we're already at the end of February. March to me counts as spring. March, April, May, you're starting to flirt with a little bit of summer on. At least that's how I feel. We see that the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they have not only done their interviews, they've done their promo shots. Now they're just putting in their taglines. And with that, all they have to do is come up with a line, have it approved by Bravo, record it into a mic, and that's it. They're done. Now it's up to editors to go ahead and piece everything together because the finale's done. Everything is taped except for the reunion. So they're done. It's a wrap. Now we just have to talk about it. What exactly will be talked about on this season? We have our ideas. A lot of people are speculating that Kathy Hilton and Kyle Richards will hash out some of their sisterly issues. However, everyone's pretty focused on the Girardi cases. Now, we don't know if Erika is going to be able to talk about this case or these cases or her divorce or what, especially considering we just watched this past season, season 15 of The Real Housewives of Orange County, and Elizabeth Lynn Vargas, our newbie, couldn't talk about anything. It was actually extremely frustrating for all of the Bravo fans, or I'm not going to speak for everyone, but most of the Bravo fans, because, hello, you're on a reality TV show. So if you can't share anything, then get off the show. That's like me going on and saying, I don't want to talk about my fiance. Nope, I don't want to talk about my family. I don't want to talk about my animals. I don't want to talk about what's in my bank account. Well, then what do you want to talk about? Something that's not interesting? Then no, then you shouldn't be casted. And again, I'm not trying to be harsh, but this is The Real Housewives. We're supposed to be getting what's actually going on in their real lives. We're supposed to be seeing it as if the cameras are there and they're living their life as if the cameras were never there to begin with. That's what we want to see. But only time will tell. I'm so curious what you guys think, though, about the judge asking, what does Erika Girardi think about the bankruptcy proceedings, and kind of asking where she is. Is that a little bit of shade? I don't know. Maybe it was just an honest question, because if she hasn't been there, she's his wife, she's posting on social media, and the judge is aware of it, maybe it's a fair question. What do you guys think, though? You know, I read all of your comments, so if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell, because I'm not kidding. It helps you know every single time we jump on, whether it's with Jason, Emily D. Baker, Monica All About the Tea, DJ Richie Sky, Ika Wong. We have so many great collabs, and we're always doing stuff. Pops is going to pop off where we give 100% back to our veterans. We do so much. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of it, and comment below and let me know your thoughts. With that being said, see you next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching Up and Adam.